Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in this episode we're going to go through 5 ways that you can activate your vagus nerve and get yourself into a deep state of relaxation, or at least promote downregulation of stress. But before we delve into that, we're just going to talk about what the vagus nerve is and how it actually formulates and helps us to perceive the world in terms of either safety or threatening. So the vagus nerve is essentially a part of our autonomic nervous system. The autonomic nervous system is split into 2 branches that we are going to discuss today. One of them is called the sympathetic nervous system, and on the other side is the parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic basically is our stress response. When we upregulate this, we increase arousal. However, on the parasympathetic nervous system, when we get more activation of this, we get more of like a break-in system. We get into that rest or digest. Now, the main thing here is that we basically both are always on. We always have one going and the other one going, but it's the extent to which one's activated that we either have an increased level of arousal or decreased. Now, the vagus nerve essentially runs from the back of the head all the way down to the lower base of the spine, and it has sensory points. And these sensory points tend to be the eyes, the ears, back of the throat, or the back of the tongue, the heart, the diaphragm, the gut, and the reproductive organs. So we could say, if you were to talk about what the yogis might talk about, is the vagus nerve, which is sensing areas of our body, or areas of energy in our body, is similar to what the chakras would have been talked about, but it's just different language. So what the vagus nerve's primary role is actually to do, it's actually roughly 80% affective neurons, meaning it's taking information from to the brain rather than innervating downwards and creating activity within the body. So what does that mean? It means that the vagus nerve's primary role is to actually detect the internal sensations and the internal state of the environment of our body at these 6 or 7 different places. So the vagus nerve then transmits information back from our internal environment state through a concept which we now know is called interoception to our brain, which actually changes our perception based on what it's detecting. If it's detecting a fast heart rate or a fast breathing rate, then it's going to send signals back to our brain to say that actually we're in a highly sympathetic state and we should be on the watch out for a threat. This becomes anxiety over time and time. However, on the other side, what happens if we have a gut full of food and we're in a safe space? Then we're going to get activation of more of the parasympathetic nervous activity, and we're going to get into that rest or digestive state, which also allows us to get into sleep. So essentially, it's all about either being safe or being in a threatening situation. So the vagus nerve itself is detecting the internal environment in our state, but how can we manipulate and activate more of that vagus nerve so we can feel more calm? Well, there are 5 ways. Well, actually, 5 ways we're going to discuss in this one. Number 1 is eye movements. Lateral eye movements, the steady pace, as if we were to scan a horizon as we're walking through nature and checking out trees. We would actually then activate more of our vagus nerve. So just a... In therapy, this is actually used in something called EDMR therapy, and it allows people to go into more of a relaxed state so they can actually utilize talk therapy without getting overly emotional. The other thing we can do is massage the ears. The upper part of the outer ear here is actually innervated by our vagus nerve. So when we massage that area, some people can actually start to feel more relaxed. If you to look at kids or some people, they have a coping mechanism or a habit where they just like to play with ears, they like to kind of play with their face. That is a self-soothing mechanism. The other thing is the back of our throat. So if we to gargle, we've got a little innervations within the muscles within our throat, the glossopharyngeal muscles, and we can essentially either gargle, sing, or hum. This is why chanting has been such a practice throughout traditions for thousands of years, because through experience they have discovered this. The other thing is the heart rate. Okay, well, can we consciously control our heart rate? No, but we can consciously control our breath. And to slow our heart rate down, we can focus on more prolonged exhale breathing. So maybe 3 seconds in through the nose and 6 seconds out. Now, the reason for this is because when we breathe out, our thorax actually closes slightly, the heart encases a little bit, the blood pressure through the heart increases. So to keep the same amount of blood that's coming out the heart, oxygen that's coming out the heart rate has to slow down. So the vagus nerve stimulates the parasympathetic activity to slow the heart rate down. The other one that we can actually do is exposure to cold therapy. So cold therapy, particularly when we get into the ice, it's sympathetic activity, it's stress response. However, we can control and be resilient and calm in the mind. We can train our body to overcome this and actually utilize more of the vagus nerve over a long period of time. The final one that I wanted to discuss with you today was actually massage or myofascial release. So within our muscles and within our joints, we have what's called fascia. This is like the glue of the joint or glue of the muscles. It actually allows things to stick together and changes the rigidity of things so that we can move more freely or be more secure in a joint as and when we need. The fascia actually has lining. And if we were to roll balls over there or to massage over a shear and move on that fascia, that actually activates our vagus nerve, particularly if we do that around the neck and also around the gut area or in the diaphragm. So foam rolling and myofascial release are also other ways that we can actually activate the vagus nerve and get ourselves into a state of calm and relaxation. I hope you enjoyed today. Just as a bit of a review, so the nervous system, really the vagus nerve is focused on that rest, digest. We can activate through eye movements, through massage of the ears, through humming, singing and gargling, through taking control of the breath and focusing on prolonged exhales, and through myofascial release. If you enjoyed this, share it with people, comment below, let me know your routines to get yourself out of a stress state and into calm, and I'll get one out to you again soon. And don't forget to follow me on all social media, Performance Through Health, and check out my free video training links below on how you can reduce your stress by 50%, improve your sleep quality, and boost your focus, energy, and productivity for high performance. Thank you.